name's Matthew, and I'm here with a little video that I made of a fossil hunt where I went to Sandsend near Whitby. We planned to go at a time it was good high tides in September, and it had been really windy and the waves were really crashing against the beach, so we're hoping for a good day. In the background there you can see Sandsend, and at the end of the headland there's Whitby in the distance. There we are on top of the cliff. It's a bit windy, but we took the long walk along the cliff and then down the stairs to the beach. The tide was just on its way out, and so we were just in good time to go for a search on the beach for some fossils. There's a big staircase at the bottom of the cliff that you have to go down, but it's actually quite good access really, as long as you don't mind the steps. The first find of the day was just at the bottom of the steps in the surf. There was a lovely Eleganticeras covered in iron pyrite. On both sides, just partial ammonites. As you can see, the waves are crashing in and doing a lot of stirring up on the beach. Then this was an amazing find, a Phyloceras with another couple of ammonites washed up against it. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I'm going to find out once I start prepping it. Here's a nodule with an Eleganticeras ammonite inside. You can see the pyrite around the outside, really hard nodules these, they're quite difficult to prepare. There's Becky, my wife, just having an explore amongst the rocks. It was a beautiful day that day. Here's her first proper find ever, Eleganticeras again, inside a pyrite nodule. This is me just seeing a partial Dactyloceras nodule on the ground here, picking it up, but unfortunately not complete. This is a piece of fossilized wood and a massive block of shells. And this is a belemnite. And here's a partial ammonite that I found, which I'm not sure what it is, probably a Dactyloceras. And then a full nodule, which is yet to be cracked open. As you can see there, the keel of the ammonite just sticking out around the outside of the nodule. Found a lovely little golden pyrite ammonite that was crushed in the shale. This was a really good find. Just on top of a shale block there, an ammonite just resting right there. So I got the chisel, gave it a few taps around the outside and just released it from the shale block, and as you can see it was a really lovely, well preserved ammonite. So this is what I was doing, walking around, having a look for whatever I could find, just keeping an eye out for nodules, keeping an eye out for any bits of ammonite I might see, or fingers crossed anything like some bone from marine reptiles like ichthyosaur. Didn't find any of that on this trip, but you've just got to keep your eyes peeled and you never know what you might find. It was a really successful day overall, and I'll show you all the fossils that we found at the end of the video. This was really exciting. Nearly end of the day, as we headed back, found this Hildoceras ammonite. And it's in a nice matrix as well, which will be easier to prep. And then right at the end, a really big Dactyloceras ammonite inside this nodule, and it's really sparkling as well. So I'm excited to prepare that one. Here we are walking back up the steep steps with quite a heavy bag full of ammonites. But it was a very successful sort of half-day fossil adventure. So here are all the ammonites that I found on that day. This one was really interesting. I'm not sure what it is, but they're all a multi-block of different ammonites, possibly Eleganticeras. It's a small one in that side that needs to be glued back on and prepped. That's some fossil wood, and then a belemnite at the bottom, and a bivalve shell at the top. I've got some more partial ammonites here, Dactyloceras mostly, that I picked up. And then these are the Dactyloceras nodules, so I've got 4 there still needing to be prepped or cracked with a chisel. This golden one was the one that my wife found as a golden pyretized one with Elegantistrus. It's another piece of one there. There's a little piece of Phyloceras shell, and then the larger piece of Phyloceras that I found with what someone said to me might be a Catacoliosceras wedged in behind it. There's 2 there at least that need to be prepped, so I might have a go at prepping it myself, or I might need to send it to someone more professional to get prepped, because it might be a bit complicated with it being a multi-block. This is the really lovely Hildosterus that I found, which was my first ever Hildosterus, so I was really excited to see that, and quite a good size as well. Hopefully there's a centre in the middle of it. When I prep it I'll find out. There will be a prep video for that one coming up soon. This is a big multi-block which is really heavy, covered in iron pyrite, and yeah, I don't know what to do with it. It's just absolutely rammed with ammonites, but probably need to cut and polish it because it's not really going to be very easy to prep because it's just covered in ammonites everywhere, and they're all just bits, and there's not too many full ones in there. The really big DAC that I found, I think it's a DAC anyway, it's really amazing because it's got like a rainbow shine to it as well, and it's, you know, really big size. It's like, you know, the size of my hand. It's, you'll see, I'll show you my hand for comparison there. So it's a really good size, you know, DAC, and with big ribs, which it's the biggest one I've ever found. And then this is another Elegantistrus nodule, which needs glued back together and prepped again. But they're so hard, it's in that pyrite